Welcome to more bite-sized therapy from the Big Book of Counselling Clichés. And today, pleased to meet me. For many of us, there are still times when we feel like we did when we were a child. We feel lonely, inadequate, insecure, anxious. Plus, whenever we do, we get that nasty critical voice in our head giving us a hard time about it. So, how do we change that? Let me ask you a question. If you could go back in time and spend 5 minutes with that 5-year-old you, or 10-year-old you, or whatever age you imagine yourself to be, what would you say? The chances are you wouldn't be saying, "You're rubbish, you're a failure, you're pathetic," all those shameful things we say to ourselves secretly inside. Or let me ask you another question. What does that little boy or girl need to hear from you? When we were 5 or 10 or whatever, what did we need to hear from our parents or from another adult who was on our side, who was for us? If we could genuinely go back in time and sit with ourselves as we were, as a child, wouldn't we say something encouraging or nurturing? Wouldn't we offer some sort of praise or affirmation or validation, some sort of love? Here's an experiment. Imagine yourself as you are now, sitting in a room. Any room, a real room, a made-up room, anywhere you feel comfortable. Opposite you is another chair, and the little you comes in and sits down. Ask them how they feel, and see what they say. The secret is uncensored thinking, free association. Just instinctively, intuitively, inside your head, when you imagine yourself asking them how they feel, what do they say? And how do you respond to that? Maybe you need to spend some time telling the little you all those things you needed to hear. Maybe you need to spend some time answering some questions like, was it really my fault my parents split up? Or why do people we love have to die? Maybe you need to give them time to talk about how scared or confused they are by life. Maybe you just need to give them a hug. But if you sat and talked with them 3 times a day, 3 minutes a day, every day for the next month, I wonder what would happen. Would the old wounds begin to heal? Would the internal critic begin to soften? Would that inner child pop up less often? It would be worth finding out, don't you think? More bite-sized therapy from the Big Book of Counselling Clichés.